My son's hands were shaking when he handed me the tablet. "Dad, my teacher doesn't know I recorded this. You need to hear it." His voice trembled the way a child's voice does when they've seen something adults try to hide. He looked afraid of what I'd find, afraid for me. I pressed play. At first, static. Then a voice, soft, familiar, my wife's voice. "Tell your father nothing about what we talked about, okay? Not a word." She laughed quietly afterward, the kind of laugh that hides a secret in its breath. I stopped the recording. The silence that followed was heavier than sound. I looked at my son, his wide, frightened eyes. He didn't understand what he'd uncovered, not yet. I told him to pack a few things. He asked why. "Because," I said, "some truths don't wait until morning." The drive was wordless. He fell asleep in the back seat, clutching the tablet like proof of something terrible. I replayed the clip again and again as the highway stretched into darkness. Every tone, every pause, every quiet manipulation in her voice. "Tell your father nothing." That single phrase burned like acid. I'd spent years believing in the illusion of our marriage. Predictable routines, gentle smiles, the polite warmth of two people coexisting. But this wasn't new. It was rehearsed. Her tone wasn't one of fear, it was control. She wasn't protecting him, she was protecting herself, from me. When we reached the cabin 2 hours north, I tucked my son into bed. He slept easily. Innocence protects itself until it can't anymore. I sat by the window, watching frost crawl over the glass. The stars above looked indifferent. I had questions, but I already knew the answers would break something in me. So I waited until dawn before opening her messages. The chat history was buried under a password I'd watched her type hundreds of times. Her mother's birthday. She never thought I paid attention. Inside, the truth unfolded like rot beneath wallpaper. Names I didn't recognize. Times that aligned with her work trips. Money transfers. Photos. Nothing explicit, but intimate in a way that left no doubt. And then there were the messages about our son. "He's asking questions again. Keep him quiet until I fix this." Fix what? Every instinct I had, the soldier, the strategist, came awake again, quietly, methodically. I needed to know everything before I moved. I retrieved a small drive from my briefcase, the kind I hadn't used since my military days. I cloned her cloud backup, her emails, her encrypted folders. She'd been planning something that involved both of us, and an account in my name I'd never opened. By sunrise, I had everything. My hands didn't shake. My pulse never rose. Anger had been replaced by calculation. She wasn't just unfaithful. She was erasing me, preparing for a future where I was the villain in her story. I made coffee, watched the sky turn pale, and began planning the truth's return. When she called, her voice was calm. "Where are you?" I could almost hear the script running in her mind. Concern first, then guilt, then justification. "At the cabin," I said. Pause. Then a tremor. You took him?" "He's sleeping," I replied. "He told me about the recording." Silence. Then, "I can explain." "I know," I said. "You always can." I sent her a file transfer link. All her messages, all her secrets. I heard her breath catch as it uploaded. The sound of truth arriving. "Why?" she whispered. "Why go through my things?" "Because you lied. Because you used my son to hide it. Because you thought I wouldn't notice." But I said none of that. "I just wanted to hear your voice," I told her. Then I hung up. That was the first time she realized the rules had changed. When we returned home the next day, she was waiting, eyes red, makeup gone, hands shaking like my son's had the night before. "I never wanted to hurt you," she said. "Then why did you?" She looked down, as if the answer might be somewhere on the floor. It wasn't supposed to go this far. It never is. I handed her the tablet. He recorded you. That's what saved us. Her eyes widened. She realized she'd lost control, not just of the narrative, but of the one thing she'd underestimated, the innocence she'd corrupted to protect her lies. I didn't shout, didn't accuse. I simply stood there, calm, letting her drown in what she'd built. Then I told her the truth. I've already sent everything to the lawyer, the bank too, every account, every message. You don't have to lie anymore. You're free. Freedom, I've learned, is the cruelest kind of punishment. That night my son slept peacefully again. He would never know the full story. He didn't need to. I stood outside, breathing the cold air until the numbness felt honest. There's a silence that follows betrayal, a stillness sharper than rage. It doesn't break you, it refines you. In the reflection of the window, I saw my own face. Calm, empty, free. Tomorrow she'd move out. Tomorrow the house would be mine again. Quiet, clean, real. I glanced at the tablet one last time, at the paused recording that had undone everything. Tell your father nothing. I smiled faintly. She should have known. In this family, we listen.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and comment. Subscribe now to Cheating Stories Insight World for more amazing stories.